Man, let me tell you something real quick because what I'm about to say ain't no bedtime story, and it damn sure ain't one of those cute suburban neighborhood tales people post online for fun. Nah man, this right here is the exact moment my life tilted sideways like a busted shopping cart wheel, and I swear on everything you better listen because once you hear this you'll never look at your front door the same way again. I woke up around 6 in the morning, the kind of morning where everything feels a little too quiet, like the world hit a mute button and forgot to turn it back on, and I'm stumbling through the hallway half awake craving coffee like it's oxygen when I see this dusty old envelope sitting in front of my door like it teleported there. And the thing that really hit me right in the gut was how the envelope had this weird yellow tint like it had been sitting in the sun for 30 years even though it wasn't there last night, and I hadn't ordered anything, no packages, no bills, nothing. So I crouch down, pick it up, and the moment my fingers touch it, I swear it feels cold, like freezer cold, not winter cold, and I get this nasty shiver crawling up my neck like invisible fingernails in front of. The envelope says HOA notice in big faded letters, and that already throws me off because bro, I don't even have an HOA. Like my neighborhood is chill, we cut our own lawns, we paint our own fences, nobody regulates nothing, nobody sends letters. So I'm staring at this thing like someone's playing the weirdest prank in America. But the handwriting on it ain't normal. It looks like someone tried to write with a pen that didn't want to work, all scratchy and uneven, like it was written by someone whose hands weren't steady, or maybe someone who didn't blink at all. And I'm thinking, great, maybe someone's kid is messing around or some bored neighbors trying to scare folks. But that cold feeling in the paper just keeps sinking deeper, so I rip it open, and inside there's this single piece of paper, thin as hell, like one of those hospital forms, and the letters are stamped, not printed, not typed, stamped with ink that looks old as dirt, and the message says your yard is non-compliant. Step outside for inspection. And I swear my brain just froze, like did someone break into my house last night just to leave this creepy Walmart discount ghost letter or what? But whatever man, I'm too tired for this, and I'm thinking maybe someone just delivered it to the wrong house. So I open the door ready to toss the letter out and go on with my day, but when I step outside everything changes. The grass in my yard looks damp, like it rained, but it didn't, and the whole yard is covered in these footprints, not adult footprints, not regular shoe prints. I mean bare feet, tiny, maybe child-sized, but all different sizes, like someone's whole collection of kids ran a relay race across my lawn, and they're deep in the grass too, like they've sunk in a good inch, which doesn't even make sense. And I'm standing there trying to process it when I realize something worse. Most of the prints are pointed away from my house, like someone was running around, then suddenly stopped, but a few are pointed directly at my front door, like something walked right up to where I was standing and stared at my house like it was choosing a tent. Then bro, I hear this soft little paper sound behind me, a shuffle, like someone slipped a note under the door, but I'm outside, so who the hell is inside my house right now? So I spin around, sprint back inside, and on the floor there's a second envelope, same color, same creepy freezer cold feel, and I ain't hear nobody open the door, nobody knocked, nobody breathed, nothing, but the envelope is just sitting there like it belonged there this whole time. I pick it up hesitating because my fingers are already numb, and the second I open it, I feel my stomach drop because this one says you failed your first warning, and I'm thinking, warning from who, for what? Like what the hell is the criteria here? Is my yard haunted now? Do I got paranormal inspectors doing surprise visits? What kind of cosmic HOA is sending me warnings? And this cold anxiety starts curling around my ribs like something tightening, and the house suddenly gets darker like a cloud passed overhead. But when I look outside, the sky is clear blue, and then the lights flicker like someone breathing on a candle, the kind of flicker that makes shadows jump across the walls like they're alive. And I hear this clicking noise from the hallway, click, 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 like someone tapping metal. But then I realize it's all the door locks unlocking by themselves, front door, back door, bedroom doors, every damn lock clicking open in a perfect rhythm, like someone pressing buttons on a remote. And I freeze because to unlock all those doors at once, someone would need to be in every room, or something invisible is moving through the house, and the air gets colder, like freezer cold again, and I haven't breathed in like 10 seconds. And then I get the worst idea ever to look outside again, and when I peek through the window, the footprints out there, they're different now. They're all turned toward the house, every single one of them, like they all changed direction while I wasn't looking, pointing straight at my front door like war formation. And I back away real slow because I swear I heard something outside breathe, not loud, not human, like this slow dragging inhale, like something testing the RI. Try to grab my phone, but the screen is glitching, lines popping up, apps opening and closing like someone else is controlling it. And then a thump echoes from the kitchen, soft but heavy, like something got placed down on the table, and my heart is pounding like I'm running a marathon barefoot on hot pavement. And I force myself to walk to the kitchen because staying still feels worse. And when I step inside, there's a third envelope on the center of my table, not slid, not dropped, perfectly centered, like someone lined it up with a ruler. And the kitchen is dead silent, like the fridge stopped humming, like the whole world is waiting for me to read this damn thing. and my hands are shaking like crazy as I reach for it, and this time the envelope is warm, like body heat warm, like it's been held by someone for a long time, and I don't even want to open it, but my fingers move anyway like something guiding them, and the message inside is shorter, darker, heavier, FENL. Notice you now belong to the HOA. And the second I finish reading it, a voice whispers behind me, low, soft, inches from my ear, saying, "Welcome, new resident," and that's when everything really started. You ever feel somebody so close to you that your skin knows before your brain does? Like the air wraps around your neck a little too tight and your heartbeat sounds like someone knocking from the inside. That's exactly how it felt when that voice, you said, "Welcome, new resident," and bro, I swear every hair on my body stood up like it was trying to pack its bags and leave my soul behind, and I didn't want to turn around, but my body spun anyway, real slow, like I was on some haunted lazy Susan, and the kitchen suddenly felt way smaller, like the walls were inching in, nice and polite behind me. There wasn't some big movie monster or bloody demon or anything dramatic like that. Nope, it was worse. It was this tall, thin figure in a dark suit, the kind of cheap black suit you see on those HOA board members who think they run the block, but its face was wrong. Man, it wasn't a real face, more like a smooth blur, like someone smudged it out with their thumb, but the outline of a smile was there, faint and wide and way too patient, and where the eyes should have been, I could kinda sense 2 spots darker than the rest, like they were sucking in the light around them, and this thing had a clipboard in one hand, like it was about to check my gutters or some dumb thing, and that normal object in its hand made everything 10 times creepier. Tried to talk, but my throat didn't want to cooperate. Like my voice clocked out early and left my body on mute, so I just stood there breathing like a busted engine, and the figure tilted its head in this slow, weird angle like a bird analyzing roadkill, and it said in that soft voice again, not loud, but deep enough to sit in my chest, "There we are, compliance confirmed." And I'm thinking, confirmed what, bro? I didn't sign nothing, I didn't agree to nothing. I don't even recycle right half the time, much less sign up for a supernatural HOA. And then suddenly the clipboard in its hand starts flipping pages by itself, the paper edges whispering like 100 tiny sighs. The figure reads from the paper like it's going over a grocery list, and it's like, occupant has acknowledged notice with physical contact, occupant has exited home upon request, occupant has observed preliminary yard alterations, occupant has received final notice. And I'm standing there like, yo, that's not consent, that's just me being curious and bad at horror movie logic. But this thing talks like the whole process is official, government approved, and already on file somewhere. And when it finishes reading, it snaps the clipboard shut with this soft clack that echoes way louder than it should in my kitchen. I finally managed to choke out something like, "I don't belong to any HOA, man, wrong house, wrong dude," and my voice sounds small, like it got left in the dryer too long and shrank. And the figure tilts its head back to neutral and says, in this calm, customer service tone, "Your property is within active jurisdiction." And I'm like, jurisdiction of what? There's no HOA here. And it says, "Your yard failed compliance inspections, and your residence has been absorbed into the homeowner's order of adherence, the HOA." And the way it stretches those last 3 letters makes my skin crawl, because it sounds way older than some neighborhood committee, like that acronym meant something else long before cul-de-sacs and white fences ever existed. I try to back up, but my heel hits the cabinet and I realize the kitchen door behind me is closed, even though I don't remember closing it. And there's this low hum building in the house, like a fridge about to explode, except it's coming from everywhere. The floor, the walls, the light bulbs, and the figure steps closer, not walking exactly, more like gliding a few inches at a time. And I notice its shoes are spotless, shiny black. No dirt, no dust, and that hits me because there's no way it walked through my yard with all those footprints and stayed that clean. And then my brain connects. A nasty little dot. What if those weren't its footprints at all? What if those were from whatever comes before it? Thing raises its free hand and points one long finger toward my chest. No nails, no wrinkles, just smooth like mannequin plastic. And it says, "Non-compliant residents often experience resistance to transition, but your paperwork has already been processed. You will adapt." And I snap back like, "Nah, man, I'm good. I'm not joining any cursed HOA. I'll just move. I'll sell the house. I'll sleep in my car. This place is yours. Keep it." And that's when I realize the stupidest, worst thing possible. My phone is still on the counter screen, now black and win. I grab it and mash the power button. Nothing happens, like the battery died, except it was at 70% like 15 minutes ago. And I try to call someone, but the screen stays dark, reflecting this tiny warped version of my face, and behind it the blurry outline of that thing hovering. The figure says, "Relocation requests are denied. Once notice is acknowledged, the property remains bound." And I swear the way it says bound makes my walls feel heavier, like the whole house just got chained to something underground. And I blurt out, "Bound to what?" And the thing almost sounds pleased as it says, "To the covenant of maintenance and order." And then it gestures with that clipboard toward the windows, and I hear this scrape, like something dragging along the outside siding of my house, slow and steady like claws or fingernails or bare feet sliding against wood. And the humming gets louder, blending with the scraping into this messed up soundtrack that makes my teeth ache. I stumble to the living room window, yank the blinds open, and almost drop right there, because my whole street is different now. The sky's still kinda blue, but it's got this sick gray tint, like someone layered Dust over the sun and all the houses on the block look older, not destroyed, just aged like time skipped ahead a few decades. But only for the wood and concrete, and every lawn is perfect, like cloned, same grass, height, same shade, same sharp edges, but there's not a single person outside, no kids, no curs, moving, nothing, just rows of houses staring back and right. There on my lawn, all those barefoot prints are deeper, darker, almost like they're slowly sinking into the ground, and around the edge of the yard. There's this faint low fence of shadow, not real, wood, not metal, just a dark line that wasn't there before. Behind me, the figure says, violation 1, yard condition violation 2, entry procedure violation 3, attempted removal from jurisdiction, and I spin around like, yo, what attempted removal? I didn't even leave. And it says thought is sufficient intent, and I'm like, nah man, there's no way you're reading my mind. And the figure gives the tiniest nod like it just won an argument online, and I feel this cold creeping up my spine again, like something filing paperwork inside my skull, and I realize I haven't heard a single car pass by in a while. No birds, no planes, no nothing, just that constant humming, like the whole neighborhood got stuck on one long exhale and never breathed back. Eenie moved toward the hallway thinking, maybe I can grab my keys, hop the fence, escape on foot, I don't even care where. But when I try to open the front door, the knob won't turn, like it's part of the wall now, and when I yank harder, pain shoots up my arm like static shock, and the wood under my fingers feels less like wood and more like skin holding a bruise. So I back away, cursing under my breath, and the figure floats a little closer into the living room. Clipboard now resting at its side like it already got what it needed, and it says orientation will begin shortly. Please remain calm and maintain the property. And I laugh this broken laugh, because what else do you do when the universe glitches and you get drafted into a haunted HOA? I ask it, listen man, what even happens if I don't play along? What if I just sit here and let everything fall apart? And for the first time that smudged face shifts a little. Not a full expression, but that faint, wide smile gets sharper, more defined, like someone pressing harder on a pencil, and it leans in just enough that I can feel that freezer chill washing over my skin again, and it whispers in that low voice that somehow fills the whole room. Non-compliant residents are pruned, and somewhere outside something starts walking up my driveway, barefoot and slow, like it's got all the time in the world. You ever feel danger before you actually see it, like your bones start shaking, the alarm before your eyes even catch up? Because that's exactly what hit me when I heard those slow barefoot steps creeping up my driveway. Each step sounded too soft to be human, but too heavy to be some animal, like something trying real hard to mimic a person and failing miserably. And I'm standing there in the living room, frozen like a deer that finally realized the headlights ain't stopping, and that suited faceless inspector thing just stands still like someone pressed pause on it, clipboard dangling lifelessly from its long mannequin fingers, and I swear it's waiting, not moving, not reacting, just waiting, like it's excited for whatever's coming up that driveway. And the humming in the house gets deeper, vibrating the floorboards like a quiet earthquake, and I'm thinking, bro, this house ain't a home anymore, it's a damn trap. So I back up slowly, trying not to make noise, even though my heartbeat is basically doing a drum solo in my chest, and I peek toward the front window, just enough to see a shape moving behind the frosted glass. The figure is short, hunched, and its shadow looks glitchy, like it flickers between being human-sized and kid-sized, and something way too tall to be normal. And I swear I see fingers sliding across the window, not tapping, not knocking, just dragging. Slow, like someone feeling the texture of the glass, and my stomach twists because those fingers don't look right. They look long and spaced, uneven, like whoever is out there didn't grow hands the way hands are supposed to be grown. And I stumble back, trying to keep my breathing quiet, and the inspector finally speaks again. It says, initial resident contact is commencing, please refrain from obstruction. And I'm like, bro, what does that even mean, and why does it sound like the worst sentence I've ever heard? And before I can even blink, the front doorknob rattles like someone trying to shake it loose. Except remember, that door wasn't opening for me, it was basically part of the wall now. But whatever's outside isn't politely knocking. Nah, man, it's twisting with this thick, wet scrape sound, like something with too many joints is turning the knob around and around. And the inspector thing slowly turns its blur of a face toward the door, like it's welcoming a damn guest. And that's when I panic for real, because if whatever's outside gets in, I'm done. Like levels of done that don't even have names. I bolt for the hallway, thinking maybe I can hide in a room or find something heavy to barricade myself. But as soon as I take 2 steps, the lights overhead flicker again, not like before, not playful flickers. These ones feel angry, like someone squeezing the electricity through a narrow funnel, and the bulbs stretch shadows in directions shadows shouldn't stretch, and the humming inside the walls pumps louder and deeper, like a heartbeat from something big and ancient and definitely not friendly. And I swear the floor feels warmer under my feet, like it's breathing shallow breaths through the wood. I reach my bedroom door, yank it open, and slam it shut behind me, my hand shaking like a busted washing machine cycle, and I press my back to the door, trying to breathe without sounding like I'm choking. And my room looks the same mostly, but something is off. Maybe the colors or the light angle or the air, but it feels wrong, like the room knows something I don't. And then the footsteps on the driveway stopped, completely dead silent. and the quiet that follows is so heavy it feels like it's pulling my chest downward like gravity doubled. And that's when I hear it, that soft whisper, right outside my bedroom door, not loud but clearer than before, like the walls were amplifying it. The whisper says, "Resident has attempted separation," and then this nasty slow chuckle follows, like someone exhaling through broken teeth and a clamp. My hand over my mouth because I know that ain't the inspector whispering, that's something else, something that doesn't belong to any clipboard or cheap suit crew, and the inspector's voice echoes faintly from the living room asking the presence outside to confirm arrival, and I'm like, yo, there's no way they're tag teaming me like this. No way. This is real. And I crouch there on the floor shaking and trying to think of some way out, but nothing makes sense because the house already changed, the neighborhood already changed, and my options are limited to none. Then the doorknob to my bedroom twitches. Just once, like something testing it, not turning, not shaking, just touching, and the metal instantly turns ice cold. So cold, I can feel it radiating through the wood, and I crawl back like a kid hiding from a monster under the bed, and the whisper outside says resident is not compliant, and I swear, I hear nails dragging lightly down the door like someone trying to decide where they want to start peeling it open, and my body curls into itself like survival instinct just punched through my spine, and I'm trying to stay quiet, but my breathing sounds way too loud in my own ears. Then something happens that nearly makes me puke. The shadows in my room start bending, not moving like regular shadows, bending like something pushing them from underneath, stretching the darkness across my floor like oil, spreading across water, and the shadow edges start forming shapes, little misshapen outlines of hands, feet, faces, but not human faces, more like blurry masks pressed against thin fabric, and I'm watching in horror as the shadows rise up barely an inch off the floor like they're trying to crawl into existence, and I back up until I slam against the wall because I don't want to touch any of that darkness if it touches me. I'm done outside. The inspector says orientation will begin shortly, prepare the resident, and I hear that thing outside my door inhale, this long dragging breath like its lungs are full of dust and old air and broken rules, and I squeeze my eyes shut wishing for any kind of miracle, but nothing happens except the humming grows. Deeper shadows crawl closer and the doorknob begins to twist again, slow like someone savoring a tanbro. That's when I realize something terrifying. The HOA isn't here to fix my home. The HOA is here to fix me. Do you ever hit that point where fear stops feeling like fear and turns into something raw and electric, like your body is running on panic battery power? Because that's exactly where I'm at, sitting on the floor of my own damn room with shadows crawling toward me like spilled ink with claws, and that doorknob twisting like somebody outside is stretching every second on purpose, and I swear I can taste the cold in the air like metal in my mouth, and the house hum keeps pulsing like a heartbeat from some giant creature buried under the foundation, and my mind is screaming, run, 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 but where, bro? There's nowhere left to run, not in this house, not in whatever twisted dimension. My street turned into naught with that inspector thing in a living room and the barefoot nightmare breathing on the other side of my door, so I do the only stupid thing that makes sense to a cornered man. I start crawling toward the window. I don't even know what I'm expecting, like maybe I'll open it and the outside will be normal, or maybe I'll jump and break both legs, but at least I'll be out of this possessed property contract or whatever this cosmic HOA garbage is. But when I get closer to the window, something looks wrong. The glass has this fog on it like someone breathed on it from the inside, but I haven't been near it the whole time, and when I wipe it with my sleeve, the fog comes back instantly like the glass is alive and exhaling on me, and through that cloudy mess I can barely make out the neighborhood, but it's darker now, like the sun dipped away faster than physics allows, and there's this faint shimmer around my house, like a bubble you can't fully see, but you feel like the air is thicker around the property line, and I realize that shadow fence I saw earlier, yeah, it wasn't a trick of the light, it was a barrier holding me inside. Behind me, the shadows on the floor start lifting a little more, rising like steam, turning into hollow shapes, arms, legs, crooked heads with no faces, and each one jerks in this puppet-like motion, like they're being controlled by someone who never used strings before. And that nasty whisper outside the door is getting more excited, voice shaking like a broken radio repeating, resident must comply, resident must comply, and the doorknob twists a little harder, shaking dust off the frame, and I swear the wood is starting to crack, and the inspector's voice echoes from the living room, all calm and steady, saying entry approval pending, maintain containment protocol. And that's when I snap, because containment protocol sounds like something used for wild animals, not people. I scramble up to the window, grab the lock, yank it hard, expecting it to open, but the lock doesn't even budge. It feels like it's fused to the frame, and when I hit the glass with my palm, it ripples, bro. The glass ripples like water, soft and flexible, and when my hand pulls back, it leaves a print like my skin sank into the window for a second, and that's when I fully lose it and start slamming my fist into it. But all that does is send ripples outward like I'm punching a pond, and with every hit the shadows behind me jerk a little faster like they're feeding off my panic, and the whisper outside the door lets out this long, disgusting laugh that sounds like someone goggling grumpily. Turn around, and the first shadow reaches out its thin, smudged hand toward my ankle, and I jump back, because if that thing touches me I already know I'm done, no respawn, no second chances, and I grab the dresser, shove it across the room. Even though it's heavy as hell, but adrenaline is basically bench pressing for me right now, and I slam it against the door hoping it might hold, but the moment it hits the wood, the whole dresser shakes like something on the other side pushed back lightly like it wasn't even trying yet, and the doorknob keeps turning like a slow tick of a nasty clock counting down my last minutes. Then the inspector speaks again, closer now like it floated down the hallway without walking, and it says, "Resident orientation requires direct contact, cease resistance," and I yell out without thinking, "Get out of my house, bro, this is mine. I didn't agree to none of this." And for the first time its voice changes a little, still calm but sharper like a disappointed teacher replying, "This property is no longer yours. Resident status supersedes ownership," and that hits me harder than any nightmare could, because it sounds like a rule, something old, something binding, something nobody escapes from, not with willpower, not with running, and bro, I feel it deep in my gut. This HOA isn't about homes, it's about humans. The shadows start climbing the walls, now stretching long and twitchy like they're testing gravity, and they form these weird shapes on the ceiling, almost like faces watching me, and the cold in the room gets so thick it feels like breathing ice, and I back up against the window again, desperate enough to try anything, and I press both palms on the glass hoping maybe I can push through like it's a barrier with a weakness, but instead the glass pulls back like skin around my hands, and I yank them free just in time because the surface seals shut again, becoming solid but still breathing fog, and I know now there's absolutely no normal way out of here. The whisper outside the door suddenly stops dead silent, and that silence hits harder than noise, like someone sucked all the sound out of reality, and the humming slows down like everything is waiting. And then the inspector says, "Presence confirmed," and the door behind the dresser shakes one time, just one, but the hit is so strong the entire wall vibrates like something way bigger than a person just slammed into it, and the shadows in the room all freeze mid-movement like they're listening. And that's when I smell it, this old damp basement smell like wet earth and mold, and something sour like skin that hasn't seen sunlight in a century creeping under the door and filling the air. I no one think for sure whatever's outside my door now isn't the inspector and isn't one of those shadow things. Nah man, this is the real problem, the thing the HOA sends when you don't comply, the thing, those footprints belonged to the thing that's been circling my house since dawn, and now it wants in, and bro, I swear with everything in me, I can feel it smiling behind that door. Wide, huge, hungry, like it already decided I'm the newest addition to its messed up neighborhood. And that's when it knocks just once, gentle like it's being polite, and that somehow makes it 100 times worse. There's something about a soft knock that hits harder than someone trying to break down the door, because that little tap-tap carries confidence. Like whatever's out there knows it doesn't need force to get in, like it's just waiting for me to accept the invitation, and my whole spine lights up like a busted neon sign, flickering panic into my bones, and the shadows in my room all shrink back like even they don't want to be around when this thing comes through. And that's when I realize, bro, if the shadows are scared, I'm in way deeper than I thought, and the air gets thick like syrup, making it harder to breathe as that damp basement smell rolls under the door. Stronger now, sweet and rotten at the same time, like old dirt mixed with something that used to be alive and shouldn't be alive anymore. Then the knock comes again, still soft, but with this weird rhythm to it, like someone tapping out a code, and the inspector's voice floats down the hallway saying, "Authorized entry is approved," and I swear I hear excitement in that boring monotone like it's getting a bonus for handing me over, and I slam my back against the window trying to get as far from the door as possible, even though the window ain't helping at all because it's basically a breathing wall now. And when I look down, the shadows are curling away from the door, forming a little clearing on the floor like a stage for whatever's coming, and the doorknob stops twisting, and for a second everything is silent. No humming, no whispers, no scraping, just dead space sitting in the middle of the room like the world is holding its breath. And then the dresser in front of the door moves just an inch, not pushed, not shoved. It glides like something reached through the wood and dragged it casually to the side, and my heart almost jumps out my throat because nothing should be able to do that, especially not from the other side of a closed door. And I get this instinct that whatever's behind that door isn't using hands, it's using something else, something stronger and older and more patient. The inspector speaks again, saying, "Resident, prepare for assessment." And bro, the way it says assessment makes my insides knot up because it sounds like it's about to examine me, like I'm not a person but a product. It's checking for defects, and the door creaks, not opening, just stretching like something is bending it from the inside, the wood warping like warm plastic even though the air is freezing, and the lock pops out with a soft metallic ping, and that's all it takes for me to sprint across the room because I am not staying still for whatever's entering. And I grab the lamp on the nightstand, the heaviest thing I can reach, and hold it up even though my hands are shaking like loose wires. The door opens slow like it wants me to watch every inch of it bending outward, and at first I don't see anything, just darkness thick and heavy like a curtain hanging in the doorframe, but then something steps forward and bro, I swear my brain tries to shut down like nope, tap out, eject, 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 because this thing isn't walking right. Its legs are too long, bent backward like a deer that learned to stand but forgot the right order, and its feet are bare, pale and narrow, matching the prints outside, but now I can see they're not shaped like normal feet. The toes are long, uneven, some too short, some too long, like broken branches reattached wrong, and each step makes this wet suction sound like it's peeling off the floor. Then the rest of it leans in the doorway, tall, hunched, thin, with arms that almost touch the floor, and its skin looks tight like stretched paper over bones, and I can't see its face, not really, the shadows are clinging to it like smoke, but I can see the outline of its mouth, and it's wrong, man, too wide, too long, like someone drew a smile with shaky hands and didn't stop once they hit the cheeks, and that smile moves, slowly creeping wider as it tilts its head at me like it's studying a bug in a jar, and the lamp in my hand feels like a joke, like what am I gonna do, hit a nightmare paper monster with a discount bedside light? Behind it the inspector stands in the hallway, faceless and still like a supervisor doing a performance review, and it says, "Assessment representative has arrived, please comply," and the creature steps fully into the room, its limbs dragging just slightly on the floor like it's trying not to tear them, and it raises one long arm toward me, fingers stretching like they're made of wet clay, reaching slow like it's savoring the moment, and I throw the lamp, not because I thought it would work, but because fear took the wheel, and the lamp hits its arm, but instead of bouncing off it, sinks in like the flesh is soft, like wet drywall, and the creature doesn't even react. It just keeps reaching like nothing touched it. At alley run to the other corner of the room because survival instinct is screaming at me to put distance anywhere, distance, and the shadows scatter out of my way, sucking back into the walls like they're hiding, and the creature lowers its hand toward the floor, dragging one long finger across the wood, and the floor splits behind it, not breaking cleanly, more like peeling open like old paint, and beneath it I see something dark moving, like more shadows or something deeper, and I realize it's not just here to take me, it's here to change the house, maybe even the land, maybe even may yell out, "Stop, dude, stop, please. I'll do whatever," but my voice cracks, and the creature lifts its head, slowly looming over me while its mouth twitches like it's trying to form a word, and when it finally speaks, the sound isn't a voice, it's like a dozen tiny whispers braided together, crawling across my skin, saying, "You are part of the property." And bro, hearing that makes my chest feel like it's caving in. Then it leans closer and I can see something inside its smile, moving like tiny shapes crawling under its skin, maybe faces, maybe hands, maybe smaller versions of it, trapped or growing or waiting, and the inspector behind it says, "Compliance ensures safety, non-compliance results in removal," and the creature reaches out again, its hand inches from my face, and my body freezes like someone unplugged my muscles, and my mind is screaming, but nothing moves, and just before its fingers touch my skin, I hear something else, something faint coming from outside the window, like a voice calling my name, desperate, scared, human. And for the first time since this nightmare started, something in me flickers back alive, because that ain't the HOA, that ain't the shadows, that ain't the inspector, that's someone real, someone outside, someone calling for me. Hearing my name from outside hits me like a defibrillator made of straight adrenaline, because for the first time since this nightmare HOA situation kicked off, something human is calling to me, something that doesn't sound like whispers crawling under my skin or clipboard demons doing performance reviews, and my whole body jerks like my soul just got yanked back into place, and the creature freezes mid-reach, its long, crooked hand hovering inches from my face, twitching like something glitched in its system, and the inspector turns its smooth blur of a face toward the window, like it didn't expect any outside interference, and the humming in the walls breaks for a second like static in a haunted radio, and that single break in rhythm is enough for me to suck in a breath and stumble back like a drunk man dodging death. The creature tilts its head, and its wide, awful smile twitches downward like it's irritated, and the shadows on the floor shrink like they're afraid of whatever's outside, and the voice calls my name again, louder this time, cracking with fear, like whoever it is knows something is seriously wrong, and I crawl toward the window even though the glass still ripples like wet skin, because human voice beats supernatural HOA monster any day, and I slap my hands against the glass and yell out, "I'm in here, bro, help, please help me," and I see a blurred shape outside running closer, too fast, too frantic to be one of those barefoot things, and the creature behind me lets out a sound, not a growl, not a scream, something in between, like metal bending under pressure, and its hand slams down on the floor, sending a ripple through the wood like an impact wave, and the inspector says, "External disruption detected, securing perimeter," and that's when the whole house shakes like something massive wrapped its arms around the property line and squeezed, but the voice outside doesn't stop. It gets louder, closer, more desperate, and I can finally make out words yelling, "Hey, hey, hold on, I'm coming, don't move," and my heart spikes, because that's the most normal sentence I've heard in hours, and I turn back just in time to see the creature lunging forward, its limbs bending in all the wrong directions like a spider made of broken rulers, and I throw myself sideways across the room, hitting the dresser hard enough to see stars, but at least I'm not under that thing, and the creature crashes into the wall, leaving a dent that looks like it melted inward, not cracked, and the inspector doesn't move, doesn't help, doesn't react. Just watches like all this chaos is part of the plan. I pull myself up using the corner of the dresser and scream at the window again, hoping the voice outside hears me. And suddenly, bam, something slams into the glass from the outside like a full-body hit, and the entire window ripples like a trampoline, but doesn't break, and another hit, and whoever's out there is yelling, "Don't give up, bro. Don't let it take you," and my eyes sting because, dude, that's a real voice, someone who didn't get pulled into this nightmare yet. And the creature turns toward the window, its long limbs dragging, and it starts crawling toward it fast like an insect skittering toward prey, and I panic because if that thing reaches whoever's trying to help me, it's game over for both of us. Without thinking, I grab the wooden chair in the corner, lift it with both hands, adrenaline turning me into a whole WWE wrestler, and I charge at the creature, swinging the chair like a man fighting for the last hour of his life, and the chair hits its back with a crunch, but instead of breaking bones, the wood sinks into its skin like hitting wet clay, and the creature twists its neck around unnaturally to look at me, mouth widening into something that shouldn't exist, and back up yelling, "No, no, no, no," because that smile is growing like it wants to swallow me whole. And then the window slams inward, as whoever is outside hits it again with something metal, maybe a shovel, maybe a pipe. I don't know, but the ripple is deeper this time, and cracks start to form like lightning across the surface. The inspector says perimeter integrity compromised, initiating escalation, and the house responds like it understood the command. The humming becomes a roar, the shadows shoot up the walls like black fire, and the floor vibrates like something under it is trying to push upward, and the creature leaps toward me, long arms outstretched, and I dodge, rolling across the floor, scraping my elbows but staying alive, and the creature smashes into the dresser, sending splinters flying, and before it can turn around, the window explodes outward, showering the room with shards that evaporate into mist before they touch the ground, and a hand grabs my wrist, pulling me up hard and fast, and I look up and see my neighbor Dylan, the dude who lives 3 houses down, eyes wide with terror, yelling, "Move, bro. Move now." He drags me toward the busted window frame, but the inspector floats forward, reaching out one long, smooth arm and says, "Resident may not exit boundaries," and then the creature screeches this high-pitched nightmare sound and launches toward us like a deformed missile, and Dylan pulls me through the window just in time as the creature smashes into the wall where I was standing, and we hit the grass outside, rolling hard, and I'm gasping, sucking air like I've never breathed before. And the yard looks wrong, still damp, still filled with footprints, but the barrier flickers like a glitch in a video game, and Dylan yells, "Get up, bro, get up, run, run," and I do, stumbling to my feet. Behind us, the house shakes violently like something raging inside, trying to break out, and the inspector stands in the window frame watching us, its face shifting, its blur sharpening like it's finally angry, and the creature slams against the opening, distorted limbs stretching outward, but it can't quite slip through, like something is pulling it back, and Dylan grabs my arm, dragging me down the sidewalk, yelling, "Don't look back, bro, don't look back, keep moving," and the street ahead flickers like reality is rebooting, but it looks normal enough, and we sprint like our lives depend on it, because they don't. Just before we turn the corner, I make the mistake of looking back one last time, and the whole house looks alive, the walls pulsing, the windows twisting, and the inspector lifts one long finger, pointing at me, like marking me, like bookmarking me for future hell, and its voice rolls through the street like thunder, saying, "Resident is not released. Evaluation pending." Hand Dylan yanks my arm harder, yelling, "Don't listen. Keep running, dude, keep running," and I do, and for the first time since the nightmare started, I feel air that doesn't hum, walls that don't breathe, ground that doesn't shift, and I don't stop until my legs feel like noodles and my lungs feel like broken glass, and I realize something horrifying as we collapse behind an old parked truck, trying to catch our breath out of the house. But I'm not free, because I didn't escape the HOA, I just made it angry.